What is up, guys? It's ajmarkle here. Welcome back to If Disney Anime Classics Were Released number 5. Today, it's The Rescuers. The Rescues was a 1977 classic that basically talks about the greatness of two mice saving a little girl from two people. Let's start from the very beginning. It all starts off in a bayou, which we will later know as the Devil's Bayou. Ooh, that's a good name. Terrified Kids, 1977. Okay, that's very nice. And you see the little girl basically walking, and then turned her back, back towards the edge, as if she was not making sure she wasn't followed, and she threw down a bottle. And during that, the song "Will You Rescue Me" is playing. And there is the intro, the credits, and there's even a dialogue of the bottle going right through the water until it reaches an area where some mice found it. This is where we get introduced to the Rescue A Society, how it all began, and even a meeting about it. We also get introduced to one mouse, Bernard, who is not actually part of Rescue A Society yet. He is a janitor. So, what happens later is they sing their song R-E-S-C-U-E, Rescue A Society, and they talk about what they do. Then, the scouts, who basically were the ones that found the bottle, brought it in. The thing about this bottle, it had a message in there, so it really got their attention. You know how you see pirates, they always have a little bottle that leads to a treasure? Well, this isn't like that. During this time, their song, however, before that, we see a bright white mouse who has a Hungarian accent, Miss Bianca. Or just Bianca for you. See, yeah. And of course, Bernard had an eye on her. Don't even think about it. I know some people like she had an eye on Holly. It wasn't like that at first. No.
Yeah, we're not mice. I'm a bunny. He's a bear.
Well, I wasn't talking animal. I was talking when we first actually met.
Ah.
and a call, guys. Anyway, so Bernard and Bianca would be partners in a moment, but here's how it all started. It all started when they bring the bottle, and then Bernard came up with a ladder and then climbed up. There wasn't enough, so he had to use a rope. Went up, then he had to pull the cork out of the bottle. Then he falls in there. After lifting the note out, and this is the problem here. The bottle had a cork on it, but water still went into the bottle, so it made the actual note ineligible to read.
Like the ink was covered in water, and it caused the ink to make it a bit unreadable.
Yeah, but here's what Bianca was able to get out of it. "I'm in terrible trouble. Morningside Orphanage. Please help. Signed, Penny." So Penny is the little girl that we saw in the beginning of the movie. At first, the head of the Rescue Society didn't even know what to do. So Miss Bianca asked if she could take the assignment, and Bernard, who heard this, was like, uh-oh. And although it was very tough, he agreed, but Bernard was like, hey, we can't just let her go, not alone. Anything can happen to her. As Bianca had that eye on him, like, okay, Romeo.
Yeah, so in a way, this could be sort of a theme of like, slight hint of feminism a little bit, and like a girl can't take care of herself, so she needs a man to help. Which is sort of shows that during that time frame, in a way, how back then females were often put down sometimes a little bit.
Yeah, that is sadly true. But Miss Bianca was just trying to be more independent. But I think Bernard, knowing that someone is missing, knew that it can't just happen that way. But anyway, so the guy said, "You see, before we interrupted, I was going to suggest you find a partner," which is appropriate, but I think it doesn't matter if it's a male or female, you gotta have a partner regardless. So everyone, their brother was like, raising their hands in the air, like, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick, 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 pick me. It's like going at recess and you want to be chosen to be on that star team. So, out of the blue, Bianca chose Bernard, who was just going up through to the water bottle, and then he was like, wait, me? What? Prank!
Yes.
And Bernard was making up all these excuses like, no, why me? I'm just a janitor. And then Bianca was like, come on, I think you'll make a wonderful agent. And everyone's applauding, Bernard's like, okay, nice. And then we start off in the rainy day. It's appropriate to say that this was located in New York. And this was during a time when it was basically the 70s. Things were not as safe as we did today in certain areas. But as they went around, they had their little umbrella. They had head coverings. They were trying to find Morningside Orphanage, which I don't know if that's a real place. Comment down below. And if that's real. And they go in and they went to the zoo. And Bernard thought it'd be a bold idea to go into a dark area where turns out there was a lion there, which they had a good sound effects for it. And
Wow.
and then they start running, and then after a little shake up, they decide that they need to get to the orphanage. They did find it, and they later discover as they go in Penny's belongings. Doesn't that sound like a hint that Penny may be in more trouble? Like she was supposed to be at the orphanage, but she's not there, and her stuff was there left behind. And there was some certain things like maybe Penny's been adopted, but Bernard was like, no, because if she was adopted, it would take the stuff with her. And then the cat in there, Whiskers, I believe was his name.
Rufus.
Oh, Rufus, thank you. Because I guess because of Whiskers, because you don't see a cat with a mustache unless it's special coating.
Oh no. And you know how normally cats eat mice?
Yes, they were afraid. They were afraid. And Rufus was like,
Yeah.
Rufus said that, now looky here, you two. If they find out I have 2 mice in here, I lose my job. And
And that he's too old as well.
yeah. But during this time, they ask about Penny, and Rufus goes to tell his side of the story when he last saw her. It was pretty sad, though. Penny was actually waiting to be adopted. It was adoption day, and while she was looked at, the people chose another girl, and Penny said she was better looking than she was. And the sad thing about it, she felt like she would never get adopted. I mean, Penny was like 6 years old. I can understand that you want to have a parent, and it's never discussed what happened to her parents. I think it's safe to assume that her parents may have passed away, which is probably what happened at the time. But we never found out. So after Rufus talked about it, he encouraged her and helped her, carried her. The next thing you know, he said that Penny was gone. And Bernard asked if the police were still looking for her, and Rufus said they gave up. Cold case. The technology today and the information they were limited on would probably be more investigated today, since it is a kidnapping, because things changed. But they didn't know it was a kidnapping. They thought she ran away. And Bernard said himself, I don't think Penny would run away. And he asked Ruth for more information. And he said there were some people that talked to her and asked her, Penny, to come along. And she said no. And she said she would never be with trashy people like that. And they asked where the location was. And the location was a jewelry store. Rufus talked about it was a jewelry store down there, which is safe to assume that the only way they would have known Penny was she may have walked down that area before. This is before, I think, higher safety, don't talk to strangers really came into play. So they go to the jewelry store, and while they were there, the phone goes off. We get to introduce to Madame Medusa, a red-haired woman with some so-called good eyeliner, which... And she was talking to Snoops, and Jesse found the diamond. He was asking for more time. Then they said that he caught Penny putting messages in bottles. This indicates that Medusa and Snoops had Penny, thus indicating Penny was kidnapped. 6 years old and kidnapped.
Which definitely also brings out another theme, which of course is kidnapping. And like Aaron said, like not to talk to strangers and not to trust them. So Penny had the right to say no, but they still kidnapped her anyway, which is also being forced as well in a way.
This is like the third Disney classic that we have talked about that has the subject of kidnapping in. So the whole logic of kidnapping and the theme of it is actually starting to get very common. Ring a bell?
If anyone knows, then comment down below or check out the other previous ones, and if you can spot it, then let us know.
Yes. So after that, they try to follow Medusa, who was packing up. She's pretty lousy at packing. My mother could fold better than she could, but she was in a rush. So, so eventually they follow her into a car. A little drama happens where she almost ran over the mice with her pedal. And then she goes on a crazy drive. And after a lot of drama and everything, and the mice trying to hang on, she took a hard turn, lost her suitcase, and the mice ended up, well, getting left behind. Now, earlier, the call talked about Devil's Bayou, and Medusa said she was taking the next flight to Devil's Bayou. So Bernard and Bianca had to find a flight to Devil's Bayou. Now, they're mice. They couldn't just hop on a plane to Devil's Bayou. They had to basically find their own method of transportation.
Yeah, and we go to the scene where Bernard is like gently scolding Miss Bianca for overpacking, apparently.
Yeah, and they were running late, which it's almost like they were an odd wedding couple, but which they're not. Yet. Huh? Okay, guys, before you guys say anything, no, they do not get married in the episode. That's, as a matter of fact, though, they don't even have that type of relationship till the sequel, which that is going to be down the road. But anyway, they go to a little, like their own version of an airport, which is an Albatross airport. And Bernard realized they were like 30 minutes late, thought they missed a flight. And then they talked to the guy who basically was trying to call them over, and that guy was none other than Orville. Orville, Albatross, would come in, fly, and then he lands on his tail.
That's a rough landing.
Anyway, so they talk at Orville. Bernard was talking about taking the train, which that's the theme of this for him for about 5-10 minutes. The way she took in the train, and then after he sets up, you know, gives the instructions. They have a sardines tin can for seatbelts.
So technically, Orville is like an animal version of a plane, except he's actually a seagull, I think.
Albatross, actually. He's
Albatross. Thank you.
So they ended up flying the long. There was a lot of wildness, a lot of low flying, and Bianca having a good time. Bernard was like having a heart attack, thinking like, "Was she taking a train?"
Yeah, because you see, guys, that Bernard's sort of more of a worrisome character and hesitant character on when it comes to adventures, whereas Miss Bianca is more of the independent, outgoing, adventurous type, where normally sometimes it's the other way round.
Yeah. And while they were flying, Bernard made a little complaint like, he just went through a red light. And Bianca told him it's okay. Then she kissed Bernard on the cheek. Oh, on the nose, thank you. Nose. But still, a kiss is a kiss. And Bernard was like, had that cheeky grin like, oh my. And then
so cute.
And then it was like, there's a song come along, and next thing you know, during this whole flight, Bernard was looking at a map, and Bianca leaned on him, and then Bernard trying to be slow, puts his arm around her and leans his head on top of hers.
And he says goodnight, Bianca.
And then we go to the Devil's Bayou.
Oh boy.
And Penny is seen trying to make her escape. And Medusa was already there. She was like, Penny, 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 answer me, Penny. And then she comes out with her crocodiles. It's kind of like the crocodile version, Jasper and Horace. 101 Dalmatians, anyone?
And if you guys look at the design of Medusa, then you may recognize the animation style as well. Who does she look like? Comment down below. They're also from 101 Dalmatians too.
Yep, and also even though they're 16 years apart. The other thing to point out, though, she has her own like boat, and she tells her crocodiles to bring Penny back. This is probably one of the reasons why Penny could never get away, because crocodiles go through the bayou. And then Medusa has Snoops get fireworks so they can help find Penny. But during that, the fireworks accidentally interrupt the Orville, and as a result, during the panic, Bernard and Bianca fall out of the plane, and Orville got hit in the tail.
Twice in a row.
Yeah, yeah. Animals get hit by fireworks. Can we please get any worse than that? Anyway, so we go into the little area, and there was a couple of other mice there, and a guy was apparently drinking some moonshine. This is starting to be the common theme already. And then after they got rescued, they talk about getting the Penny, and they had to go into. They start following. But during this, guess who got caught? Penny! Oops.
Yeah, she's not just the average old 6-year-old girl who's like obedient, and she's very sassy as well.
Well, she also has no common sense, knows something's not right. So, Snoops again gives up the fireworks, and then Penny has to go back. So Bernard and Bianca end up going into the Devil's Bayou house of Medusa and Snoops. And to keep it clear, they are partners. You know what Snoops also reminds me of? Horace.
Yes, exactly. And Snoops sounds like a very familiar name in a way, sort of like Snoopy the dog, and Snoops might remind those of
Yeah. And then Snoops, yeah. Snoops tries to act all tough and everything, like, now go to your room and all that. And then he sends him to Medusa. Medusa was like, called him a nincompoop, and Snoops was like, the crocodiles weren't watching her.
And then Medusa pulls off her fake eyelashes, which I'll admit is kind of a bit gross, but
yeah. And also Medusa carries out a weapon, really not something you want to see on screen. And then and of course Snoops is a little terrified, a little manipulated, and she didn't have a club. My goodness, Medusa is abusive.
Yeah, sounds familiar, anyone?
So then Bernard and Bianca had to go look for Penny, and that's when the crocodiles smell Bianca's perfume. Dang it, Bianca! And it results in, it's the Oregon Trail. I mean, Oregon Chase.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and before we go into where Bianca and Bernard talk to Penny, there was a little song sequence on Penny, just like someone. Well, it could be implied that it's her mom, possibly, or even her herself, like singing a lullaby, I think, to Penny in a way.
Oh yeah, Oh, we almost forgot Evanroo, the boat. They had to go on a boat to get to the house. That's kind of important there. And then of
Oh,
course,
for sure.
and then after they're chasing, they end up having to escape. And unfortunately, Medusa takes her a weapon. She hits one of her crocodiles, and they escape. And Bernard and Bianca escape.
Yeah, and the next thing we know that Bianca and Bernard find Penny just being upset and crying, the poor thing. I just want to give her a hug. And
I would too. I would too.
And come over to her, and now this is very peculiar in a way. Sure, it's an animated film, but wouldn't you at least be a bit surprised to see mice trying to rescue someone and they talk and that?
Yeah.
Because Penny didn't seem once terrified or anything, but yet again, it's no surprise because she had Rufus as a talking cat in the orphan village, so...
Yeah, Morningside Orphanage. So eventually they discuss plans of escape. So here's the why Penny was kidnapped, for those that don't get it by now. Penny was kidnapped to get the Devil's Eye. A very valuable jewel. Should have mentioned it earlier. And then...
it's one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, it's in the cave. So eventually they go in there, and the next thing you know, Penny goes in there with Bernard and Bianca, obviously. And after going into the cave, because Penny was small enough to go in, they got it, but water went up the cavern, and a lot of drama happened, and they escaped.
Yeah, but before we go on to that part, I will say that apparently there is the scene in the cave where there's a skull that's shown in it, and a sword, a pirate sword to be specific, where the Devil's Eye jewel is hidden in the skull. How on earth? I don't know. But she uses the sword as a little like crowbar to get the Devil's Eye while Bernard and Bianca were inside, but they were close to drowning.
It's close to drowning. Water in a cave, 6 years old. How does she know how to swim? You really want to endanger kids. Child endangerment, Medusa and Snoops.
It.
Okay, I almost forgot about that scene. So after that, they escape. But during this time, they decide to have Emerald go and get the posse. I forgot their names, I apologize. Of everyone so they can go rescue Penny and everyone else. But unfortunately there was a delay because Evanru's a dragonfly and there's bats, you know? And then after the drama, Penny gets the diamond, they escape, but here's a little something you guys also should know. Penny has a teddy bear, so Medusa takes the teddy bear away from Penny to force her to do it. Talk about extortion, my lady.
But it's also manipulating an innocent child's mind in order to gain something, which is also psychological abuse in a way and emotional abuse as well.
Yeah. So anyway, to continue on, Medusa gets the diamond, they keep the baby bear, the crocodiles get Penny, and Bernard and Bianca had to go after them.
And next thing we know is that the posses, as Aaron said, they charge to try and find Penny.
Before we do, Evanru was able to have courage to get into that area, but he was so choked up with soot and everything that he ended up needing a little boost of moonshine. I'm gonna say moonshine because I believe that's what happened. And let's just say, oh, almost forgot Bernard was given that moonshine as well. Really nice, guys. Mice, get drunk.
Yeah.
No, don't. Ugh.
Yuck.
And so anyway, they go in, they charge, and the gopher, he's going in there, he's going underground, he goes, where'd everybody go, Bronk? They go in, Bernard and Bianca are there, and okay, this scene is very dark. I'm gonna have to say it the best way I can. Medusa was pointing her weapon not just at Snoops, but at Penny. 6 years old! May I remind you that that's not good. Anyway, remember that teddy bear? I'll let my honey bunny explain.
Yeah, fortunately, she once again uses the teddy bear as a motive, like to manipulate Penny into staying. Even though she's already gotten the devil's eye and that, so yeah, this scene might in a way be somewhat similar to 101 Dalmatians with Jasper and Horace fighting, except it's with Medusa and Snoop. Snoop, I think.
Yeah, Snoops.
And
the other thing to point out is Medusa did more than just hold the teddy bear. She put the devil's eye, stitched it right into the teddy bear,
which in a way is very I wouldn't really say dumb, but sort of.
Actually, it's Medusa's way of keeping Penny there because she knows how Penny is attached to the teddy bear, so Medusa decides to use that attachment to keep Penny. So anyway, the mice set up the trap on a rope. She trips over it, and Medusa had her weapon on her, and the next thing, and Penny gets the teddy bear, and she escapes, and had the devil's eye in there, but she didn't care about the devil's eye. The posse attacks her, and Medusa starts going wild, and the mice get clever. They get a rabbit to help them. They trap the two crocodiles, and Penny takes Medusa's vehicle, but Medusa immediately fires the weapon and hits it right at the wizard, almost hitting Penny. You now shot at a 6-year-old. Can you be that insane?
I know, but yeah, because normally people wouldn't think about harming such an innocent human being, but yet when it comes to money or fame or anything, it just gets into their heads, and they're just willing to do whatever it takes, even hurting those.
It was disgusting. I will just say to that. So after they sabotaged the weapon by blowing up in Medusa's face, light him up, and they had to start the I think it was a swampinator, what it's called, and they end up using the moonshine to gas up the vehicle, and Medusa basically hung on there and was trying to make sure to get on everything she got. Oh, and they also set up the fireworks to basically be a distraction. So drama ensues, the chase goes on, the crocodiles are somehow set free, and then, after a hard turn, the rope that held the vehicle snaps with Medusa letting go. She's hanging on to the crocodiles, and then she crashed into a pipe.
And then, next thing we know is that we see Bernard, Bianca, and Penny and the posses as well escape on the boat as well, with Medusa shouting really angrily at her.
And she goes, "There goes my diamond!" And then her crocodiles turned against her and started snapping at her. While Snoops, who basically looked like he went to a war, was laughing. I think he was just glad to be free. But then the news came out about Penny giving the devil's eye to the museum, and the Rescue Society was watching, and the greatest news of all, Penny gets adopted. And
about time.
And then Penny was explaining how the mice rescued her and how they say during the mice were very happy and laughing. And then Evinrude, yes, they brought Evinrude with them, decides to bring another message for another call to help. And of course, Bernard was going to suggest getting another agent to do it, and Bianca was like, "We can do it."
Yes, and then Bernard was like, "But we already came back from a mission."
And the other problem is, it was freaking snowing. It was a blizzard, but Orville was like, "Put me in, coach. I'm going to go back out there." And Evinrude joins with them. And the song, Tomorrow's Another Day, plays. And there's the end. That's the end.
Also, do you know what's funny about all this?
Yeah.
The name Orville is also a FNAF character as well, who's an elephant.
It's also one of the names of the Wright brothers who invented the first airplane.
And the reference Tomorrow is Another Day is also, in a way, an indirect reference to FNAF 4 as well, which is pretty ironic in a way.
Yes, which this came out like over 40, like almost 40 years after. The FNAF came out almost about 37 to 40 years after The Rescuers, so this was no relation to Five Nights at Freddy's, but you guys get the hint. Well, that's the end. That's The Rescuers, and oh my goodness, that was way, way darker than I anticipated.
Oh, yes. I will admit, guys, that this was my first time ever watching The Rescuers in it. So that's why Aaron did most of the talking, because him being older than me and Ant, he probably would have known more about the movie than I did. But I only watched the movie for the first time, which was why I was sometimes confused in this video a little bit. But when I first saw it, boy oh boy, was it dark.
Unfortunately, guys, let me explain. This is going to shock you guys. I was originally going to give this movie a PG-13 rating. Unfortunately, because of the extra violence and the weapons pointed at a 6-year-old and the endangerment of a child, this is rated R. I am sorry. The Rescuers is rated R. There's alcohol. Yeah. There is an alcohol reference. The weapon that Medusa used was used as manipulation and nearly killed the 6-year-old Penny, and also how Medusa used it, destructive damage, even to the point of hurting an animal. You cannot make this up that this is a rated R type movie now today. If it was released today, and you know what's funny? It was rated G in 1977. Oh
yeah,
and oh, I almost forgot the kidnapping part. Okay, that's nice. Kidnap a 6-year-old, almost shoot him with a weapon, and next thing you know, you almost get animals hurt, and basically you almost get the 6-year-old killed with the weapon, and then pointed the weapon at the 6-year-old as well. Okay, that's really nice.
Yeah, also the fact how being an orphan is like a sensitive subject topic as well. I know that's probably seen in a few Disney movies now a little bit, in a way, sure, but I think this movie was possibly one of the first ones that kind of introduced the subject of being an orphan. Comment down below if you guys say I'm right about that, or point out if there's been more movies way before The Rescuers in it, and let me know.
Yeah, there was actually we can't forget that Mowgli was an orphan too from Jungle Book.
True, but I mean as in like when it came to like society, like in town, whereas Mowgli was in the jungle.
Oh yeah, fair point. Well, guys, I will say that in the end, The Rescuers was a great movie, but probably with all the sensitive subjects that are going on today and the past, this movie, rated R, I'm sorry. But it's not because, but this has no language, and it was 2D animated, it was very dramatic and everything, and my saving the day. PG-13 to R is probably the best we could be suggested, but because of the overwhelming dark elements that would put into it, it would be probably rated R. Unless, of course, it barely reached it. So, guys, if you guys enjoyed, please comment down below and tell me your favorite part in the episode. And also let me know if you guys want to see more. Maybe even comment your suggestions. And we'll look into that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. This is ajmarkle signing off. God bless. You rock. Don't you ever forget it.
Be unique and be creative. Have a great day, everyone.